Welcome to the Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Hello, lovelies. It's Tuesday. Come on in. Are you ready to shake things up a little bit today? I sure am. I am here. I'm on fire. How about you? What is your day looking like so far? I don't know what's going on with my camera. I turned it to the landscape. That's how I always do it. And I've got half my search there. I've got messages showing up. It's weird. I don't know if anybody's ever had that happen, but anyway. Hi, Helen, I can see you. I'm going to have a hard time seeing everybody's comments, though, because half my screen is taken with half my phone. Whatever. Anyway, I'll probably have to reboot it or update it or some nonsense like that. But anyway, welcome, welcome. Who was with us last night? We had a really good group. Who was there? We're getting ready to crush the sprint. As a matter of fact, it starts this Monday, and we do a webinar just to get you all situated, give you a quick start, to give you a good idea of what it's all about. You can go check this out at savingdinner.com/sprint. It's right there. We also give you a whole bunch of stuff that you can download, including the guide, including a food journal, all kinds of stuff that we usually charge for, and we're going to give it to you free. You just have to go to the webinar. I know you were there, Helen. I saw you. Vicki, too. Good to see you. Anyway, thank you again for showing up, because when you show up, it just makes my day. And also when you share, I know you care. So thanks for that as well. We want to always bring new people in. I know that there are people out there right now. There are women right now who are struggling, who are in this place of just feeling really defeated, frustrated, and all of that. Bring them on in. Bring them on in. You know, you don't have to be stuck with quarantine 15. You don't even have to be stuck with the inflammation and all that. You can change everything. You just can. And we do that with our sprint. We do it once a month as a group, and it is phenomenal. savingdinner.com/sprint. Be there. Go get it. Go get it. Now, speaking of mindful, I know, well, that's part of being mindful, isn't it? Part of being mindful is using our mindful mug. And here is our latest. They're flying out the door. And by the way, everything's going to be backwards because I couldn't change it away, so I'm sorry. But it's don't get mad about the results you didn't earn from the work you didn't do. That's on our mug this time, and it's bright, sunshiny yellow. You can find out all about them. If you want one, you can get one. Go to savingdinner.com/mug. Read the post. Read the post on why this is so important and how this works in your life as a cue to do the next best thing, to do the next thing that's going to work on your behalf. You know, when we are aligned with the things that we want, our life flows just so much different than when we're out of alignment and we're just kind of ping-ponging all over our days. You know, I want to live my day on point. What about you? I know you do. That's why I want you to read this mindful mug post, savingdinner.com/mug. You can buy it, you can get it for half price, or you can get it free. It's all there. It's all there with the codes and what to use to do it. Okay, so go check it out. Meanwhile, our Sleep Ease is our supplement of the week, which is absolutely fire. You have to go to savingdinner.com/show in order to get that. You know why we had to do that? We had some double dippers. There's my mama finger. No double dipping, y'all. You know, we're generous and we want to be generous. It's all about being generous. That's how we roll. And that's why we have this great deal. You put 4 in your cart, you're going to pay for 3. That's how it works. And we're going to ship it to you free. Go to savingdinner.com/show. This is how you save money on your supplements. You know, you can, every single week we change them. Every single week we give you an opportunity to put a little stockpile in your pantry. And it's just, this is how I roll too. You should go see my freezer. You know, I just pulled out a bag of scallops under the top of the bag of scallops that we have. Why do we have so many scallops? when they were on sale, we bought them. That's how it is. You know, I always am going to lecture you on eating healthy food, but I don't believe you have to pay retail for any of it. I don't believe you have to pay retail for supplements either. That's why we do our supplement of the week. So take advantage of it. savingdinner.com/show. We got tons of people who do this. Anyway, our quote decks also are flying. Mugs and quote decks, man, who knew that they would be so popular? They come in this little, hear them clicking away in there? they come in this little deck, and you just get all kinds of things. Let's see what this one says. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. That's good old Henry Ford giving it to us straight. And then Diane von Furstenberg says, if you doubt your power, then you give your power to your doubt. Oh man, I think that one's gonna have to go on my desk. Now, we give you this little stand, and then you put this, look at this. We put this right here. You put it on your desk, and then what it does is it looks at you all day long. It looks at you. You look at it and you go, you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna give my power to my doubts anymore. That's how these things work. You set your environment up for your success, and you retrain the way you think, you retrain the way you talk about yourself, all of it. And it just becomes so much more fun to live that way, isn't it? I love it. Alrighty, so this is, okay, wait a minute, missing one. These quote decks, you can get them at savingdinner.com/quote. Hurry and grab yours. We're already designing the next ones because they're flying out the door. If you buy 2 quote decks, and remember, Valentine's Day is coming up. You buy 2 of these, you'll get the shipping absolutely free. That's a screaming deal in and of itself. savingdinner.com/quote. Yes. What else do we have? You came to the webinar. We got the mindful mugs. How about the quote of the week? Are you ready for this? For there's always light if only we're brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it. From Amanda Gorman. That was from the inauguration lesson. She lit everybody on fire. You know, she was, she's our poet laureate, I guess, and 22 years old, and the wisdom of an old sage wisdom, I would say. Maya Angelou is looking down from above with great fondness. That's what I say about that. Anyway, who's ready to get on with our program today? Because today is Transformational Tip Tuesday. That's how we do it. Every single day we have something different, because this is the Daily Dish Show, and our whole goal is bringing vibrancy back into your life, heart, mind, body, soul. So we talk about something that affects us. A lot of this stuff I pull out of my reading, I pull out of my journals. You know, unfortunately, if I ever die, somebody has to come clean out my journals and get them gone and burned before anybody can read them. But I have a lot of personal stuff in my journal. All the stuff and watching myself grow. It's really very gratifying to go back and read a lot of this stuff, because it's nice to say, you know what, I have gone through this, I'm done with this. It's also good to look at and say, you know, still have to work on this stuff. Because I read something today that floored me, and I did not like it at all. And that was this, that who you are at 20 years old, the research shows that's who you will be for a lifetime. All the crap that we've done when we were 20 and stupid, we will continue to do unless we make a conscious change and an effort to change that stuff up. Don't you hope? I mean, I don't know about you, but I was completely ding, ding, ding. You know, nobody was home. I felt like completely untethered in my 20s, you know, just trying to figure out all this adulting stuff, you know. Back then we weren't calling it adulting, but back then we were certainly trying to figure out what it was to be an adult, and how it was that we're supposed to, all of a sudden, with all this freedom and responsibility and everything else, this brand new adulthood stuff, we had to figure it out, you know? We had to figure it out. Rhonda says, not true, you can change. Absolutely, you can change, but only if you are aware of it, and only if you are deciding you're gonna change, and only if you put the effort into it. If we just do what we do in our 20s and just kind of sail through life, yeah, we'll just be an older version of ourselves. We don't want to be that, do we? That's why we're here. That's why we talk about this stuff. We want to be the very best that we can be. I believe we're all called at this time for a purpose by God himself. I believe that with all of my heart. And that's why our transformation is so important. That's why being the very best that we can be is so important, so that we can leverage everything we have. You know, the parable of the talents. You know, you bury one talent, or do you take all those talents and multiply them? I think we're called to multiply them, not bury them. And that's what happens. We bury our talent when we're not paying attention to what's going on in our lives, and we end up with groundhog lives, you know, Groundhog Day existence, over and over and over again, doing the same thing, a little bit different, maybe a little whatever, but the same thing nonetheless. And why do we want that? Do you want that? I don't want that. You know what I want? I want every day to wake up excited. I want every day to look and see what's on my calendar, that the birds are singing, and that I'm ready for it. I'm ready to change. I'm ready to become more of who I'm supposed to be. And, you know, who we are right now isn't who we're supposed to ultimately be. We are called to change. We are called to up-level. We are called to all of this because we cannot be the people that we're supposed to be if we aren't aware of this whole thing. We just kind of go through the motions. We kind of just, you know, it's day, we look at it and we go, oh my goodness, what is this all about? It's you know, day 89 of 2021, and we haven't even realized that the time has gone by, and we don't have anything to show for it. This is why I think goals and visions and all of these are so important, because we have something to go for. We are naturally, by our DNA, we are people who go we have to go the length. We have to go, we like to compete, even with ourselves. We like to be these people who decide that I can see this and therefore I'm going to shoot for that. It's very soul satisfying, isn't it? Haven't you noticed that? That when you say, I'm going to do this, and then when you actually do it, how great you feel about yourself afterwards, and how much of an impact it has to all the people around you. That's another thing that we just don't take into the consideration pile, is it? So it's not who you are right now, it's who you're becoming, and we're always becoming if we're in it, if we're aware of it, and if we make a decision that this is what we're going to be doing. That's how it is. So it can be scary, though, to say, oh, I'm going to change, because change is scary always. We know the amygdala forever wanting to keep us tiny and small and not doing anything different. Just, it's how it is. But when we say, I'm going to step outside of that and I'm going to step into the greatness of who we are supposed to be, we get to become that. We get to become that because we have opportunities suddenly pop up out of nowhere to become that. So the more you do something, have you noticed this, the more you become? But you want to hear something about habits that's so interesting? All the research shows, you'll hear this, oh, it takes 14 days to develop a habit, 21 days to develop a habit. You know what the research says? It takes maybe up to 60 days. No one really knows. But here's the sad part, here's the scary part, is that's for the good habits, right? The good habits that we're trying to get into our lives. Bad habits, is twice can be enough. You see this with heroin addicts. You see this with people who have these horrible bad habits, debilitating habits that hold them back from the vibrancy that they want in their lives. We have to work harder. And nobody likes to talk about the work. It's always easy peasy. Oh, effortless weight loss. All you have to do is close your eyes and wish upon a star, eat the way you've been eating, sit on your can all day, and you will lose it magically by taking these magic beans. You see that crap all the time. It's absolute 100% garbage. You know that, I know that. And we need to be people who elevate ourselves beyond all of that. So when we're looking at being our new person, the person that we want to be, we've got to start looking at what does a new you look like versus what does the old you look like. And in my mind, it's all about the belief system that we have, and it's all about the belief system even that we don't have, and how we've got to plug all these things in so that we can get the engine to start on the life that we really and truly want to live. So the new you, the you that you are becoming has a voice in her life. She's the one who speaks up. She's the one who says, that's not going to work for me. No, I can't do that. And you need to lower your voice when you speak to me like that. I need to be spoken to with respect and a smile, right? That's the woman who has a voice in her life. The woman who doesn't have a voice in her life, she doesn't speak up. She's frustrated. She doesn't know how to feel. She backs away and she just stays quiet and stays unobstructive, even in her own life. Even in her life. That's the old way of doing things. This is maybe brought on by childhood. Just be quiet and be invisible. But being quiet and invisible is not going to get you the life that you want to live. It's not. Because nobody can read your mind. Nobody's going to step in and say, hey, how can I help you live a better life? Nobody's going to do it. It's all on you. It's your responsibility. So when we're looking at the old stuff that we do so that we can elevate to the new stuff that we want, we got to make that contrast. This is a good time to pull out the page and do the pro-con sheet and the old stuff versus the new stuff. Old stuff that you don't want anymore, new stuff that you do want. It makes a difference because it helps you to move the needle. Your old self hides behind indecision, hides behind being in the background, doesn't want to be in front, doesn't, anything. That's why I'm always asking you on your avatar to put your picture up. I want to see you. I don't want to see that little gray ghost thing that Facebook gives you. I want to see the real you. So when I see you in our Facebook group, I want to see your eyeballs. I love you. And I want to be able to know that I am connecting with a person. So stop hiding. It's time to come out of hiding and start stepping into your life. Because if you're hiding, you're also keeping quiet. And you're also not speaking up into your life. And I'm gonna bet, just putting it out there, going out on a limb, you're not getting what you want either. Because we don't get what I want. It doesn't just magically slide into our lives. We've got to make it happen. There's a little work involved. But I'm going to tell you what, if you don't have an aversion to the word work and understand that it doesn't mean that you're going to sweat and die. Well, you might sweat a little bit if it's working out as one of your goals, but you will not die. And as a matter of fact, you will start to become the person you want to become. And wow, you will be wowing yourself as well. The other thing is, you're not quiet anymore, you're not hiding anymore, and you're not playing for this imaginary audience that you think you're playing for. We have this people-pleasing thing inside of us that is so big, so ugly, and so needs to go. It is outdated. We play to an audience of one. Do you know that? An audience of one. And that's your best self. God himself is taking a look and watching what you're doing with the talents he gave you, by the way. What are you doing with them? You bury them when you don't speak up. You bury them when you hide. You bury them when you're quiet. And you bury them when you're playing for this imaginary audience that doesn't give a rip about you. When we are in people-pleasing mode, we are not in God-pleasing mode. Do you know that? We can't be. Because we are so obsessed and worried about what other people are thinking about us, who maybe they might give you, a minute of their time of their day. Maybe they might say something nasty on your Facebook post. Maybe they'll whatever. And what do? We get absolutely obsessed with the whole thing. Oh my gosh, they like me and I'm terrible and it's this and it's that and it's this. Maybe I shouldn't have said this. Maybe I should. They've moved on. And yet we're playing to this audience. So when you realize that you're playing for an audience to one, and you understand that you want to be in alignment with the goals and the visions that you have, your audience quickly gets very, very small. It's you. It's you. It's you you're going to disappoint, not them. They don't care. You care, though. This is your life. Start leading your life and not worried about them. Yeah? Not worry about them. This is freedom, by the way. It's freedom to be yourself. It's freedom to be all that you are and not somebody else's version of you. That's the whole thing. You can step into the exact authentic life that you want simply by being okay with who you are, warts and all. Because I'm going to tell you right now, our only call is to lead our lives excellently. Not perfectly, because that won't happen into this side of glory, will it? No, I don't know of a single soul. We all make mistakes. We all fall down. We all injure and bruise our little knees and injure and bruise others accidentally. But we can always come back and fix things. We can always come back and do better. That's what living excellently means. And doesn't that feel so much better? Isn't there just so much more freedom there than trying to do things so darn perfect? Perfect doesn't help, it paralyzes. It makes procrastination the thing, because if you can't do it perfect, don't do it at all. You've heard Fly Lady say that a million times. And it's true. We do that all the time. And I hear this, I remember hearing my mother saying, if you can't do it right, don't do it all. She'd say that all the time. My mother was a absolute raving perfectionist, OCD and everything else. She was lovely. I loved her. I adored her. But growing up, it was difficult, and later on in life, that's when I started to make this assessment of I wasn't playing for her anymore. I was playing to my own audience, not hers. I was still people pleasing, but I needed to get out of my own way so that I could get on with my life. That's how you please God. He's given you the gifts, the talents, the everythings that you need. It's up to you to leverage them, though. And that requires a little elbow grease. So, and let me just say that there is no virtue in being fake. There isn't. And pretending and being somebody that you're not. There's no virtue in that. There's no freedom in it. There's no nothing. It's just a lot of tension, a lot of high stress, a lot of anxiety. That does nothing for you. It rips down your health, as a matter of fact. It keeps you up at night, and it makes you just feel less than, frustrated, and just wondering, when am I going to have a turn? When is it my turn? That's not going to help you. But I want you to know that there are people right now on this earth who need you, who love you, who care about you, the real you, the true you, the vibrant you that maybe you're scared to show. Because our vibrancy is not a single act. Our vibrancy is our basic, it's the plumb line of what runs through a life well lived. It is the plumb line. And I want to say to you right now that if you feel like it's out of your grasp, if you feel like it's far and far away and it's just nothing that you can have, that's simply not true. And that's not how God looks at you. We are all, in process. We're all not finished. We all have work to do here because we're here. Because we're here. And that's something to be celebrated. But in order for you to attain this, in order for you to have this, you have to reach for your very best self. You have to do things that you say you're going to do and follow through, because that lands integrity back into your heart, because you keep your promises to yourself. When you keep your promises to yourself, then you can move to the next thing and to the next thing, and you suddenly start to see yourself in a completely different light. Jenny's been getting up at dark 30 and walking with her husband every morning. And she's keeping that promise to herself. And she had a victory that she shared on Sunday, in our group about baggy leggings or something. But, this is what happens to us. When we keep the promises to ourselves, we start to see little tiny victories here, a little tiny victory there, and they add up. It's not like, here's your victory, and then it just diminishes. No, it's a stepping stone to the next step, and to the next step, and to the next step. Martin Luther King said that you don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. And neither do we. All I know is this, that every single day that I show up for my life, and even though the new me, the in-process me, might be a little bit scary, staying in the old way, staying in the old thinking, is even scarier, because it just pulls me down. And that's what I want to say to you today. Allow yourself to be in the place of process. The place of process is glorious. It's the place of process is where things are made. It's where you are made. And, we're all a part of this divine melting pot, the refiner's fire. You've heard of it before? This is how we get rid of all that dross that we don't need in our lives. And this is how the gold becomes perfected and beautiful. And I say perfected, I'm talking about the gold, not talking about being perfect. We have gold, shiny things inside of us. We have diamonds inside of us. We have so much inside of us, so much potential, so much beauty. If only we would exchange the ashes for the beauty, we will start to get those things back tenfold. Tenfold. And I want you to just see the light of this important part of what I'm talking about here. This is important. This is how you live a vibrant life, a life that's on fire, a life that is full of goodness on all levels, at your work, with your family, in relationship, in a community, with God, all of it. It all starts to come, and you start to live a life that's so exciting, that's so different than what you lived before, because you are stepping into the new you, the vibrant you, the true you of who you are. You ready to do that? I know I am. Every single day to stay on that, to get out of the frustration lane and get into the place of alignment, true alignment with who I am. So your actions are going to prove your worth. Your words are going to prove your worth, and so are your thoughts. They're going to prove your worth. Guard them all. Guard your thoughts, guard your words, and guard your actions, and make sure they're congruent with the you who you're becoming. Deal? Pinkies up. Love you guys and appreciate you. Thank you so much for showing up. I will see you tomorrow for Wise Women's Wednesday. Peace be with you. Share this video if it meant anything to you, okay?
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.